Hello, welcome again to the channel. We got another Gundam Converge show. This time we got these four here. And we'll start with this and move up in this order. So I'm going to get these out of the way first. So I'm looking at Gundam Fandom. This is called the Mobile Suit. I don't know what the M stands for. Maritime, maybe? This is a mass-produced amphibious mobile suit. So MSM-03C, known as the HyGogg. So as you can see, it says number 61 in the series of Gundam Converge, and 61 will put it in within collection number 10. Alright, so here's some images of the other ones. I do plan to get that one for sure. I think I might have that one, or will get it. Anyways, you can see, oh, what's the date on this one? This is 2013, and that's why that bubblegum is not a smart thing to try to eat. In the trash. In the trash. So obviously this one's brand new. Not many parts on this one. I built this as a model kit in the high grade series. It's just such a funky... I really like these aquatic amphibious suits in the Gundam universe. There's such crazy designs that I could never conceive of. So it seems like the only parts of these feet, and they are ABS plastic. They're not PVC. They're very light and rigid. So, but we'll look at it first, I guess, without. So I guess in the cartoon, these arms can retract and the shoulder blades can come down, so it can go through the water quicker. But it's on the land. It's just so weird looking. It's like a crab almost, like a strange crab. Alright, well, let's take a look at the details here. We got, this comes in a sky blue color, and I've seen an image of it in a different color, but I guess it primarily is known to be this color. The mono eye is just painted pink. It's not even a metallic. I don't think this head comes off. I think it's glued shut. I think these might be, I don't know, these or these. It says here on the fandom there's some cannons in the waist. Maybe it's those two things down there. Maybe these are just lights, because it has to swim underwater. And then you can see the arms here. They're retracted, kind of, sort of. You got some hoses running between the arm links. Well, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen printing, the copyright printing on a Converge figure until today. A lot of details, of course, even under the shoulder. There's some like dots and stuff like that. So these must be thrusters, I'm assuming. A different waist color. And then the hands, they have like guns in the middle of their hands. I don't know. I guess it only has 4 fingers. I thought it had 5, but maybe it only has 4. Yeah. A little paint would obviously be helpful. There's supposed to be some color in there. Some little molded details in the shoulder. Yeah, so definitely some color could be used on this one. There aren't many paint apps on this guy. So maybe because it's kind of big, possibly. Alright, so the feet here, under detail as well. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then it's got a certain shape to it, like an L shape. So, and that's different actually. So it's pretty idiot proof. This L shape goes into that L shape, right? I think these are supposed to be forward. Not. Maybe it goes out at an angle. Or like this. Yeah, alright. So I guess this foot's supposed to be out to the side. Interesting. I would have guessed that would be rotated 90 degrees. Like this, right? But no, I guess front and back, it keeps it from falling. So this is a T-shaped peg, of course, and I think it's supposed to go like this. Alright, so no problem standing, of course, because these things are protruding so far back. It's almost impossible for it to fall over. It's so stable. So very good. So that is HyGogg. Definitely a funky character. So next in line we have XM-X2 Crossbone Gundam X2. I'm just reading the internet, guys. And oddly, this is never featured in a cartoon. I remember building a white model kit of this thing, like a high-grade kit, and I thought it was really neat. I just assumed this was in the actual animes, but it just says it was in the manga series, Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam. You would have guessed they'd make a whole series around it because they have so many versions of these as model kits, and even Converge figurines. So interesting to learn that this thing is designed to be flown around Jupiter, and so that's why it has this jetpack here, and it's actually got a space shuttle kind of thing that plugs into the robot. How does it say here? Oh, there it is. Well, there'd be like a little ship attached to this thing, and so this could fly into the back of the robot, I guess, and then control it. A core fighter, that's what they call it. It was developed from the F-97 robot. Okay, so interesting to learn because Jupiter's gravity is much heavier than Earth. So I bought this used, and henceforth it's got a whole bunch of dust on it. Hopefully this paintbrush will get into the nooks and crannies, clean it up a little bit. Alright, so no packaging. These things are stupid, these things. The thing stands without that, so that goes into the trash. I believe this is from Converge Series 11, and I believe it's number 66 within the whole Converge lineup. So you can see it's a kind of a purple. There's actually two purples I didn't pick up on. There's this dark purple, and then you'll see on the head there's a slightly lighter purple than here. Or this might be dark blue, but this definitely get a purple vibe out of it. These antennae are molded in, so it's kind of, they look thick, but they can't be lost. So one tip I would give for you guys, any small pieces, glue them in place as soon as possible. And if you buy loose things, look at reference pictures, because I bought some and they're missing the antennae. I just don't realize it because I don't know the characters enough. One nice thing about this one is it has translucent red eyes. You can see the light kind of bouncing around in there, hopefully, if I get direct light. Yeah, see? So that's pretty neat. And it looks like there's even a texture behind that lens. Hopefully you can see. Let me hit focus again. There we go. Yeah, so I like that. That's cool. So I like Crossbone because he's literally got a skull and cross on his head. It's like a pirate-looking robot here. He's got a little printing, tampo printing there as well. Can't make out what it is though. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Alright, so the head here, it's on a peg, so it will spin around on that neck a little bit. Nothing to collide into. The shoulders obviously will do the same. I don't know, this hand is totally molded in place. It's not going to spin at all. But usually the gun hand will be a separate piece. And actually this thing is like a lance. And it's just separate. Yeah, that's separate. So I'm going to glue that together later because I don't want it to get lost. And then yeah, after I detail this up, I'll probably glue this lance in place as well. The handle of the lance is just part of the hand. Okay. Yeah, it's obviously very dusty. Alright, some thrusters it looks like in the kneecaps. Maybe some venting here, painted orange. A bunch of little dots. Maybe these are cannons or something in the head and the shoulders. Maybe some thrusters there. But the main thrusters back here, I do feel like they could have definitely added some paint, at least on the thruster ends. They put it in the knees and the elbows, but I do feel like this is pretty lazy. They should have added some sort of metallic to the thruster ends. Okay, so you saw me pull that off as well, and but even behind it, there's a lot of details, you know, vents and stuff like that. The bottom of the feet usually have some details as well. Yeah, this one not so much, but not molded very well, too much paint. This side's a lot better. And the torso on this one does not move, so not much articulation really on this guy. But still, a cool character. I just thought it was cool that he has a lance. I know there's many variations in Converge, as I mentioned. I think there's one with a pistol. I think there's also one with it looks like a crossbow, like a modern crossbow, and then they have the fancy one with the cloak that apparently gives it like a stealth thing. So that's Crossbone. Let's get this out of the way. Next one up is, yeah, I definitely learned about this one. It's called Zogok. And I just assumed it was like a ground type unit, but it says here this is an amphibious prototype unit here. Prototype close quarters combat amphibious suit. It was developed from the Zogok, and it doesn't have any like guns or anything, but it does have punching arms, as you can see actually in this image here. The arm extends, so it punches things, and then these blades here, boomerang blades, it can launch those blades and cut up other robots, I guess. So yeah, interesting. Totally, I thought it was just like actually more of a construction worker. Anyways, I believe this is from Converge series number 11, and I believe it's number 67 in the overall lineup of things. So let's take a closer look now. It's got a big mono eye. So being an amphibious unit, there's no separate head for streamlined water use, I guess. But this giant eye would be able to move left and right and up on this track, I guess, in the cartoon. Oh, and which cartoon was this featured in? This debuted in Mobile Suit Gundam ZZ, that animation, which I've never watched or anything. Didn't even know it was an animation. Alright, back to this thing. We got a sword. Is that well, the blade's a separate piece, but the handle's part of the hand. And the hand does spin. Oh, it actually comes with a wrist while we're at it. So actually the hand is offset. So that's interesting for posing. It adds a little bit of posing variance. Really big peg on that thing too. And then the arm does spin. Yeah, it's a peg there. Same with the other side. The other hand, I don't know. I don't get the feeling that's a separate piece. Although, no, it must be. I can see a break and a gap there, but the paint's stuck, so I'm going to leave it alone. Some water thrusters here. The backpack, though, supposedly, it looks like there's thrusters here, but fandom says this has no actual underwater purpose. But darned if those aren't thrusters to me. And then you got those boomerang blades, I guess, that fly off. So it's a really interesting character for sure. Yeah, I like how these, lines are suspended. They're actually floating there, and they run into the crotch. So it looks like maybe some thrusters there as well. And then I think these arms might be retractable. Just for comparison, I do have a Zogok here. So supposedly this is the evolution. I would have guessed this came out before. It looks cruder than the Zogok, but this is the original, and then this is the development. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so that is it for Zogok. Alright, one more to go. Okay, the last one for today is RMS 154 Barzam. And I thought this is like a Xeon robot because it has mono eye. But according to this, it was developed from the RX-178 Gundam Mark II, and later on developed into something else. It's a mass production general purpose mobile suit. So it was featured in what? Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. That animation, I guess. Okay, but it is operated by some pirates and some Titans and Earth Federation, the good guys, I guess, of the Earth Federation forces. Alright, so interesting. Always learning here. This says Bandai 2014, so pretty old now. It's been opened. Hopefully there's nothing missing. That's what I'm worried about. There's always some small antennas on these little figures. But this one, I guess, is new, and it has relatively large parts. So hopefully I won't lose anything in this video. Although I'm probably still going to glue this antenna in. But I won't do it right now. These foot stands, if you're unaware, are absolutely stupid. It's a harsh word, but it's true. At first, it's hard to get the feet in there. And then second, it blocks almost a fifth of the whole model, right? And then you don't need them in the first place because the models stand without them. I really wish they just gave you an extra gun or an alternate head or something instead, because that's a big chunk of plastic, right? Or maybe like a diorama piece, like a brick wall or something. That just went to the trash barrel. Okay, Let's take a look at this guy here. So this thing has got some pretty sizable pegs and stuff like that. Which way does this go? Alright, so it goes this way. The triangle's in the front. Actually, that's such a tight friction fit. I don't need glue on that one. There's no way that's coming out. So that's fine. What is this thing? It looks like a shield / claw. It's got a peg hole, but where's the peg? I'm gonna guess. Is that supposed to fit here? What's going on with this guy? Oh, it goes underneath. Interesting. Interesting. This is kind of like a forearm claw thing. Interesting. Ergonomically interesting. Although, can you say ergonomics about a giant robot? Oh, now this is quite interesting. Does his head come off? Because that eye inside there is awesome looking. Ah, boy, I don't know if this head even moves. I think it's glued in place. Anyways, you can see, look how thick that eye is. That's the thickest clear eye I've seen in all of my Converge figures. It's like the size of an LED, but it does have molded lines on it. So very cool. Didn't expect that at all. I just kind of assumed it would just be a pink circle painted on. But that thing is huge in there. Alright, so that's a really cool highlight. Alright, so I learned here on this fandom that the backpack and the torso are all blended together, and it does look that way. The jetpack here, the thrusters and stuff, some heat deflectors, it is part of the torso. And then the legs are just blending it into that. So it looks short, but because of this horn, it's actually a really tall thing. I'd be curious what this is actually for, if it has a purpose. Maybe a bunch of, obviously, antennas, radar system maybe inside of there. Okay, the shoulders have a peg, round and round, peg and hole. And even though this is brand new, it's quite dirty. I don't know why. I don't know if... Yeah, that's strange. You clearly saw me open that bag. Yeah, weird. Okay, some feet detail on the bottom. Yeah, some thrusters, I guess, here. So it could still use some paint apps, maybe some Gundam markers and the dots and all that stuff. Alright, well, that's it. It's a funky looking one, because it's got this like shielded eye. Really interesting. Okay, let me get all these set up. Alright, well, interesting to learn about the history of this one and its relation to Zogok. I don't know if there's a favorite today. Initially it would have been this guy, because I've actually built the high grade kit of it, but I kind of think I actually like this guy more because of its history. It's an evolution of the Zogok. The least one, I definitely don't like. I like that the least, even though that has the coolest eye feature. And that's just a cool looking mobile suit in general, but lack of paint details. Actually, almost all of them don't have as many paint details as I would expect, except for this guy. This guy has a lot of different colors going on. If you guys have a favorite, leave a comment. I will see you in the next Converge video. Thanks for tuning in.